Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Return of Wolverine, issue number 2 of 5, I think it was. This is a once monthly comic book, which is really sad because we were getting this, like every week we were getting a new comic book that featured Wolverine and one of the Hunt for Wolverines, the various ones. And some of them were great. One of them wasn't great at all. That's the best I could possibly say about it. It wasn't great at all. But for all intents and purposes, this is actually going someplace. But again, I'm waiting a month in between each, in between each issue. And since there are so many questions we have, anyway, let's get into who actually made this comic book. So, Return of Wolverine, writer Charles Soule, artist Declan Shalvey, color artist Laura Martin, and letters VC's Joe Sabino. Cover artist Steve Mcniven and Laura Martin. Variant covers by David Marquez, Rachel Rosenberg, another one by Mobius, sweet, another one by Declan Shalvey and Matt Wilson. Anyway, yeah, man. So let's get into the comic book itself. Basically, this is Chapter 2, Limbo, and Wolverine's in a boat. He's in a little speedboat with looks like 4 engines. Anyway, whatever it is, he's with this doctor who helped him out and who he's actually helping. And yeah, basically, we don't know why all these other characters are teaming up. We see that Omega Red is Omega Red took off his helmet, his mask in the previous issue because reasons. And there's another hooded guy who's hanging out with him, and it's Wolverine's son. It's Daken. None of the bad guys talk. I start to wonder if this is just a dream. Like, there's only 2 people who are really talking this entire issue. For the most part, there are other people talking, but for the most part, it's really only Wolverine and the Doctor. It makes me think like we're just in Wolverine's head the entire time, even though we're seeing in Wolverine's head at certain parts. There are good parts too, a whole lot of really good parts. For instance, there is a part where he goes berserk, and the character in his head that he goes and he's seeing a couple different characters in his head. The jail cell scenes. One of them is Daken, and while he's thinking about getting in there, the Savage Wolverine is in there. And by Savage Wolverine, I don't mean the one with no nose. Oh, God, no. We don't need the no-nose Wolverine anymore. Great concept, horrible execution in that. But there is the Berserker Wolverine in there. And I like the way he's drawn. I really like the presentation. He's just screaming, "Let me out! 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 Out!" He's like banging his head, against the bars. And it's really like, oh, crap. Oh, crap. Is he going to unleash this? And it's interesting the way that goes down. It's really interesting. And it's one of those heartwarming Wolverine moments where you're going to sit back and be like, this is my Wolverine. But there are also parts in here where it's not our Wolverine. And it's the way that he's drawn, but I don't have access to the script that Charles Soule wrote for the artist. But I have to imagine that the artist is doing exactly what he's being directed to do. And the design of Wolverine's eyes as he's talking to this doctor, he looks like a little lost puppy. And that's not our Wolverine. That's not our Wolverine. Plus, Wolverine is helping, and this doctor throws herself at Wolverine at one point, which is like, okay, really? Your son is missing. Wolverine has deduced that he's probably being used as a biological weapon. And your instinct is, for a guy who says, I'm going to help, but he doesn't actually help, and you're in hot pursuit of these people right now who just sent 2 bad guys to try and kill you guys, and her instinct is to throw herself at Wolverine. I guess in case that son dies, you want to try and shoot for another one with this awesome hero? What the hell? How the hell do you write a character like that, man? Come on, dude. Just I can't imagine a mother who's actually scared of something like that. The only way that makes sense is if Wolverine's being played, in which case, with his memory loss and who I think this doctor is, then it would play well. If it turns out that she's just trying to betray him, awesome. Then it's really good. But for right now, what we're made to understand, it's like, dude, I can't believe she just freaking threw herself at Wolverine with her son's life hanging in the balance. What the hell kind of sense does that make? So we'll see where we go with that. Honestly, we're going to see where it goes with that. But there are, I don't know, there's a bunch of interesting scenes in here. At least we get to see why, what happened to Dakin after he was taken in that 4-issue limited series. I'm just going to leave it at that. We also get a little bit more about the Hot Claws. Just a little bit more about the Hot Claws. And it seems like I was right, my guess, purely a guess, no insider information, that Wolverine's Hot Claws have something to do with his Berserker Rage. Cool. If you're going to do Hot Claws, that's the way to do it. Also, the end of this comic book involves Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde. I think just me saying that, I'm imagining that you guys already know what I'm talking about, with whether you've read the comic book or not. I don't know why you'd read this, check out this whole thing without, but I'm trying to keep it as spoiler-free as I possibly can, because it is worth reading. But I will show you that the Return of Wolverine issue number 3 cover, which comes out on the 21st of November, looks a little something like this. So you can imagine what Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde were doing in this comic book. Yeah. And if not, read the comic book and you'll be like, oh, well, duh, of course that's what they were doing. This was fun. I love the cover. I know there are a bunch of people who are coming down really hard on the Hot Claws. I can't possibly imagine a reason why anybody would come down hard on anything without having the story first. I'm giving it a hell of a chance. And if you're going to make Hot Claws, this is the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? It is a drastic change to a character. I'm okay with changes to characters, man. That's part of character progression. You obviously can't keep on giving characters new powers. You have to be careful with how you do that. But something like this could be explained in a really cool, fun way. But again, a lot of people are comic book conservatives, which is annoying to deal with sometimes, because then, of course, they're going to start bitching the loudest, but is what it is. Anyway, I know there's going to be a bunch of people. Professor Bill cursed! You should hear me at home. Anyway, guys, I enjoyed this comic book. I'm hoping that the things that I didn't like are going to be explained by, he's getting played, man, because that would explain everything that I don't, and there's not a lot I don't like about this comic book, but there are some things that I don't like. And they could all be easily explained away if this person who he's with, this doctor, is actually insincere. All right. But even if not, is what it is. I get hiccups all the time. A comic book is allowed to have a hiccup. So yeah, all of it. I'm good. I'm good. All right, guys, go and check out the book. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.